Grommet.
So Grommets, the idea is it's kind of like this, 1980s, if I remember right.
Late 80s probably.
Yeah, I think it was more the mid, because I want to say that it
Mid.
started like in 84. Yeah,
Sounds-
issue 1's in 84, and I think it
Sounds
stretches to like 85,
Okay.
87, something like this. But, a little slice of life thing, in Southern California, or at least in California. Maybe they're more in mid California, because I want to say Sacramento or something. But they're, high school,
Yeah.
that early high school days. Trying to find your fit in which clique, in this case, a new boy in a new school,
Yeah.
having to show up because his parents moved yet again.
Sure.
His dad wants to be the cool guy, and is driving like the fast car and trying to drop his son off to school. And he's like trying to figure out where he belongs.
Sure.
And so, in the first couple of issues, it's kind of like the skater culture,
Sure.
skateboards. This kid wants to, he wants to ride, on the skateboards. He finds a person who seems to be a bit more, what would you say, talkative than outgoing than himself.
Yeah. And actually wants to be friends or whatever.
Yeah, and then he,
They kinda
and
connect.
actually, they kind of connect in their different ways. Both of them have their own, home issues, but they use each other a little bit as a escapism from what's going on at home and school. And it's kind of following them, like I say, through I think it's about 2 years there of life, through some of that high school aspects and the skater, culture there. They meet some other friends, a group of girls that they get along with, another guy who's really kind of oddball, with a mohawk, and just kind of their own little clique that they have of themselves, and kind of following. And ultimately, it gets to a certain point where there's parties that happen, fights that happen, and elevates to a point that our main character, who kind of you were following at the start, who just moved there, it ends up his parents are moving again. Is kind of how it's ended. Kind of transitioning out, and kind of that the fallout from that.
Sure.
But it's really just a slice of life of a couple of years in high school of these kids, and how they kind of lean on each other for the stuff that's going on. And quite honestly, here again, I don't know that it's something that is hugely original or anything of that nature, but it kept me engaged. I really did enjoy this a lot, even though there's just not a whole, I can't pin on anything to say this is real original or that a lot of cool stuff happened or whatever. It reads well, and it's